these and we'll be officially off the ground. And I think we're getting there. All right, all right, all right. Fantastic. Okay, here we go. Well, what's going on, everybody? Welcome, welcome, welcome to this special call. Do a quick little intro. My name is James Zhang. We haven't met yet. It's an honor to be with you. I have been partnered with these body balancing drops since they first launched 14 years ago, actually. And I was skeptical about them, but I tried them. I lost 25 pounds in 40 days with no exercise. And if you couldn't tell, I'm Asian, so you see a lot of rice and stuff. The craziest part was my cravings for rice went away, Lucy. And to this day, I don't eat white rice anymore. And since then, it's taken off. This is a company that's exploding. And we are in a time right now that's super exciting. And specifically, Canada is exciting. I've seen these drops for a long time. Canada has always been one of those places. I'm in San Diego, California. So the furthest place from Canada, probably, I'm going to bring a winter coat and everything, even though probably won't be that cold.
You won't need it.
I won't need it. Okay, even I
No,
won't
no,
need
no,
it.
no, no. You're gonna have
Okay.
to be like Dr. Crystal. I'm gonna have to get you another tea towel that shows you all the provinces and the weather and temperature.
Yes, I will absolutely need that for sure. So we're excited, Lucy, because it's been a long time coming, but now this company, Partner Co, is exploding in Canada. And today we want to talk about what's happening, why is it happening, and more importantly, how do you take advantage of this growth? Because opportunities like this don't come often. So Lucy West, she is the Vice President of Canada of APAC. But more than that, Lucy is someone I look to for wisdom. She's been in the game for many, many years. She doesn't look it, she doesn't act it. She has more energy than all of us combined, and she leads from the front. So, Lucy,
Yeah.
thanks for just being on here with us today. It's such an honor.
Thank you so much. I think my favorite part is being with the people. I think the toughest part of our job is having to do all of the KPI, the analysis and the reports and making sure that we submit every request that we have, whether it's NFR, whether we want a new product. There's a lot of paperwork and there's a lot of people and there's a lot of planning that goes on behind the scenes, but all of us work off a game plan. And I think I've been pretty honest. I mean, I am who I am. I'm really direct. I'm happy, I'm energetic, but I'm really direct as well. And I think that probably from living in Canada,
Mm.
from 11 to 19 years old, probably
Wow.
influenced me because I feel really comfortable when I'm back in Canada. We kind
Mm.
of all speak the same language there, and they have a great sense of humor, and
Makes
it's
sense.
all part of doing business. But they are tough and they're resilient as well, and I'm pretty tough and I'm pretty resilient.
That is a true statement. Yeah. You have this
And
interesting mix.
I think that when I came over and met John and Darren, I think the same story. Most people, when you hear them in the front of the room, especially corporate people, they'll say, when you've been in corporate for long enough, you know exactly what you don't want and who you do not want to work for. Well, I did anyway, and things that you would or as you get older, you're just not going to put up with that anymore.
Mm.
And I would have been probably quite happy at that point. I might have got bored to stay home because I like being busy and I love being involved in different projects. But when I left the company that I was working with for 16 years and we'd gone from 0 to 1.4 billion and back. So I knew the entire journey and what we shouldn't do. I
Mm.
was thinking like, do I really want to do this again at my age? But then again, I got this experience and I'm still very energetic. And my mom's 92 and super energetic. So I probably got a lot of years. Uh, and then you meet these two. And what I loved about it is Darren was very awkward at that time. He had not really got any experience speaking in public, remember?
Yes.
Darren was just Darren. And I'm thinking he needs a little experience, little. I'm trained in speech and drama. That's I'm a Montessori teacher and I'm trained in Trinity College speech and drama. So I was thinking like, but his story about Goldman Sachs, his story about his business and just going down to Mexico, I'm thinking he's a true entrepreneur. How many people would go on holiday to Mexico, see some fishermen catching some yellowfin and have this idea to make sushi grade tuna? I mean, my little brain would be going all logistically, and you have to get that fish directly from the ocean to almost the restaurant. So the speed at what you have to move it, I'm thinking, wow, he is an incredible human being that he can do that. And they weren't related. They weren't family members, as I've told the story a lot of times. That was very important to me, that they were friends. They'd also pastored a church together. And so that was difficult. So they'd been through good things together, and they had formed this really good friendship. And I could tell they were good with people. But then there's John. And you know, John, he almost comes through the Zoom. His passion for what he does. And I'm thinking like, wow, he's been with the same company for 24 years. And it was the fact that he did not want it to close down. He wanted to continue. I don't think John ever wanted to be the owner. And he was busy. I mean, it requires an incredible work ethic to rebuild a network marketing company, to be willing to invest the resources. And I would say that Darren is much more of a risk taker with the investment part, but John has got endless energy and patience with calls and putting it back into the business, that you're going like, this could be really, really exciting. I think this is the next billion-dollar company, because people have to have a good story. Everything comes from the top down. It's leadership driven. And I think they're really going to do what they say they're going to do, in which case we will be that groundswell that nobody's going to see coming. And we will be lots and lots of little people, big people, middle, all sorts of people, but we will just do that, and we will be better together. And I think that that's exactly what we've done. And I had the absolute honor to come back and take over Canada. I think they asked me last July. They just said, can you come back? And, we know you got nothing to do in Asia Pacific with all those 10 countries. Can you take on one more? And I'm thinking like, it's a lot closer. Canada's a lot closer than Asia Pacific. And plus I am Canadian. I'm British, Canadian, and American. And I worked Canada before for another company, so I'm very comfortable and know how to grow it, and with the team there. And it all just starts with supporting people like you, like Risha, like you, James, and supporting the leaders and listening. What do you want? What can we do? What can we legally do? How can we make, and joining all the little chats. And I love Marlene's, morning momentum. Even I get on there and comment sometimes, and then I have to remind myself I'm not a brand partner. Sometimes I want to ask questions because they answer everything. And I'm thinking, how great is that people have found ways to come together and support each other, and then of course I met Deb and Ken in Australia. That was the first place I went. Deb came on stage dressed as Superwoman and gave this amazing presentation. That's her team. A lot of her team is Deb in Australia as well. And it's all grown. And we, Katie Holt Larson, I report to her. So at the end of the year, when we do a summary and we track where we're at, and we track, all of the spending and what we're going to do and how we're going to invest in different events. And I like a high level timeline. And then you make a plan and you work a plan. It's actually quite simple, but then I have to become really tenacious, making sure that operations gets their job done and people get, the follow-up. And I think it's like all of your businesses. There is so much success in the follow-up. Your job, of course, is to follow up with future brand partners and your customers. And even if it's uncomfortable, you have to do it, because otherwise something doesn't get done. And I feel a tremendous sense of responsibility to, that people are depending on you to get the job done. And John and Darren, I mean, how cool is it that they respect what I'm doing and that they believe so strongly in me? Sometimes I'm going like, pinch me, is this real? Because there are good companies out there, and I got along very well with the owners of my last company. He even wrote a book and said thank you in it too. But everything ran away. They got carried away by their incredible fortune, and they also did not keep a balance in the field. Didn't watch their finances. And that was a big one. And I feel like with John, he understands that harmony and that balance. So even right now, we're onboarding some new teams, as many people have heard, and I don't think it's a secret. We can talk about this because
Mm-hmm.
them's under you. It's very rare that a big company just closes its doors.
Mm.
And large teams have to, normally what happens is a company starts falling apart, people start leaving, going right, left, and center. And there's a core group that then go and find a new company.
Mm.
So you're maybe onboarding a couple hundred or something like that, but not a couple thousand.
Mm-hmm.
So our whole thing is, wow, this is an incredible blessing.
Mm.
But on the other hand, what about our people that we have? What
Mm.
about our existing? Are they going, do they feel good as well? Are we making the right decisions? How's our inventory? Are they going to go, suddenly wake up and there's no inventory left? So all of that's taken into consideration as well. And we work really, really well internally.
Mm.
It's kind of, if you've ever seen like people from MIT solve a problem, like if
Mm-hmm.
it's a problem, or like Becky from Berkeley, I'm sure
Mm-hmm.
they just gather around a group and they start problem solving. It's never just one person by themselves.
Mm.
And this whole week, it's been groups. Okay, let me get this person on. Let me get this person's from London. You've got like globally, we've got somebody on from Hong Kong, somebody on all of the and I'm going like, this is how
Mm.
it should be.
Wow.
So for the future, that I think that's just another confirmation that Partnerco is the right place to be,
Mm.
and that it is so stable. The biggest question they asked me, besides they ask a lot about Canada, of course, they said, please don't tell us it's another NFR OTG. And I said, well, yes, we do have products on the ground and we are registered in every single province across Canada. And I said, the product that we sell the most of, we just got our site license and we got our NPN number, because you have to get two, because there's two bottles, can't just be one. And we are going to go into production in mid-May and bring that to Canada, and it comes from Ireland. So if there are any tariffs or anything, we know it's coming from Europe, which is good as well, which is good news. But then that will actually be in the Canadian shop. So
Mm.
that means that's easy for your customers to find. Like right now on the NFR, I know a lot of people lose people by having to go and find Canada, go to the drop down. If this was going to be longer like that, I think I'd do something about it. But seeing as I know that it's the end of May, then I think we'll just leave it the way it is. And
Mm.
we have two Optimals, Optimal M and Optimal V, and they will be also on the ground at the end of May. And it's funny because certain groups love M and V. We got Quebec and people in BC, and the rest are all the drops. So, and then we have a timeline of all the other products. Of course, we have another timeline, and working towards that, working with regulatory, and it takes a little time, but it will happen.
Mm.
So
Wow.
for a lot of people, you want it yesterday.
Yeah.
And then time goes by, and then before you know it, 6 months has gone by, and then suddenly that product's arriving in market and you forget all about it and focus on the next thing.
Mm.
For everybody that's had to wait, super appreciative of that. And then, of course, it's coming together at the great timing with the Calgary Connect, where,
Mm.
we'll have John and Katie and Dr. Strand and Barbara and, Mark Pattison as well. And that will be a really, really good show that we will have in Calgary. And it's going to be a Canadian production.
Let's go. Let's go. This is something everyone needs to be at, by the way. May 29th. Come join us. This is essentially, Lucy, not just another event. This is the launch of Canada. This accelerated and scaled very quickly. There's been a lot, and it's because of what Canada has been doing. By the way, if you have your ticket already for this event, put a me in the comments. Or if you're stirring at the heart, you're like, I need to get my ticket, put a I will in the comments. Like, we're looking for you right now. So this is what I'm hearing so far, Lucy. By the way, everyone, who here is grateful how transparent of executives that we have? Like, you can sit down with Lucy and she just is an open book. That's why it's so important that if you're looking for an opportunity right now, what the people are looking for is authenticity. They're looking for genuineness. They're looking for real stuff. I just love that, Lucy, you have so much experience. You chose to be here, that you see boots on the ground, what the entire team is doing. And that's the big thing. It's not just you, it's the whole team. Many of them are featured into this picture right here. And you're just a workhorse. It's intense.
I think to work at Partnerco, there's a couple of requirements. One is you have to be a workhorse. Second, you have to be an overachiever. Or it's because of the stage that we're at, that even though the company is a blend of older companies, we're only 2 years old. And it was the same thing. I was a little bit younger with the other companies. It was the same thing when it was a startup. I remember we were there till 10 o'clock at night, and you know, meetings and everything. But I also know that once it takes off and then you're able to scale up and you're able to bring in a much more stable, more staff and everything else like that, then it gets very, very exciting. So we will move on from this phase into the next phase, but we need to get there first of all. And I think don't you feel it in the United States now that people are a lot more stabilized? And, you know.
Yes, absolutely. So you're saying Canada is not in the stable phase, you're in the explosive phase.
Yeah, so we're in massive growth stage right now. And like, it's funny when we're on the calls because they're going like, well, we're trying to hit our numbers in the US. And I'm going like, we hit our numbers.
Come on.
And they're going, we're putting you on mute.
Come on, Canada. That's what I'm talking about. And just for anyone that is not familiar, John and Darren, they're the owners. 2 years ago, around there, they took some companies, relaunched it. And now 2 years later, this is hitting Momentum Awards. It's becoming the #1 company on the planet for people to come to. There's shakeups that are going on. And I think it's important because we have a mission. We just finally, think about it. We had a company that had no mission for 2.5 years and we did amazing. We just launched this mission like last week, basically, but it's a power, health, and prosperity around the world. I want to ask everyone this question. Do you think that type of a message could resonate with the world? Who here believes that people need more health and prosperity? They want to be a part of something like that. And you hear all of this from Lucy, you hear the values, right? You hear that this is a value-centered organization. This is not just about the bottom line. This is about building something legacy, something that means something with amazing people that mean things with us. And I just love, Lucy, that you and the internal team, you exemplify the culture. You lead from the front, and all of us are just following suit. That's why people are coming in here. So, Lucy, what are you seeing? You've been there since July. There's a massive growth. What kinds of growth is happening, and why do you think it's happening? What's led to that?
It's all leadership. So, you know, the Joni and Chris play a huge role. Ashley Rowland just taking a big chance and just saying, I know there's not much growth right now. I'm going to go to Alberta. She got in, you know, Christie's car that, you know, that needed a new tire, and they drove around, and that helped, I think, people seeing this possibility and then being able to share the story. I think it was also coming back with some of the existing teams like Deb and Ken's teams and saying, hey, you know, it's all right now. We're stable. This is who we are. We're going to support you. We're going to love you too. We're going to listen to you. What do you need? And it's been hard. It's if you've, you know, gone through a lot of different changes and had a lot of different people that you have to work with, that's hard. But the new ones haven't. With some of the newer growth that's happened is I'll hear things like, I've been waiting for my company to register in Canada. It's been 2 years, nothing's happened. I see Partnerco is actually doing something about it.
Wow.
So, you know, if you're going to tell people you're going to do something, you better do it. And that, I feel, is John and I mean, we might be a few months behind or 6 months behind. I mean, we might, but we will go forward. Well, we don't want to go backwards. And the other part that somebody said to me when I was in the Calgary meeting, and some of these things, you just can't make them happen, James. You know, like, you have these magical moments. So I'm in Calgary. It's the end of 4 weeks on the road for me. And I'm not a spring chicken. And we've been, like Vancouver and Parksville, and the plane couldn't land, and we had to go back and take a ferry, and work is an adventure. I love that Val.
Mm.
So anyway, it's beautiful over there. We finally make to Calgary, and it's the very last event. And we have the Calgary Connect, and I don't want that to stop. I want to do that. So we do that. And I come down, and the entire lobby is massively filled with people, and the hallway. I can't even hardly get to the meeting room. And I'm going like, whoa, because we like sold these tickets, because we do that. We sell $20 tickets, and they were sort of sitting there at the registration table, so nobody could get into the room because they're going off the list one by one. So that would have been good, or we've been smart enough to plan that, like, hey, this is going to look great when new people come along, but we didn't plan it. It was
Wow.
organic, like all the other growth in Partnerco. And I mean, finally we got everybody into the room, but then we had Chris and Joni and Bob had flown into that meeting as well. So, Joni, they're wonderful presenters. And then, of course, this is coming off the Todd Rowland, where you use all of the before and afters. So Mary and Christy were up there. And then in the crowd, dispersed throughout the crowd, we had people stand up and do their testimonials as well. So, you could just feel the energy. And I couldn't have planned. It wasn't planned that way. It was just another roadshow meeting, but that was like, okay, we just went to another level.
Mm.
And
Mm.
this is like, okay, I feel better about Calgary Connect now. I think we're going to pack the room. So from
Mm.
that, I was able to tell the team, look, I'll take the risk. We'll take the bigger room. I said, I can go smaller, but I can't go bigger. And I can't stand cramped stages. Like, if we're going to
Mm.
do recognition, we want people to walk across that stage when you're right up against the stage and people can hardly move. I mean, Dustin and I found that cramped.
Mhm.
We have this beautiful BMO, which is a massive convention hall. It's just gorgeous, and it's so set up for people to have little meetings and everything else like that. So that was like, okay, we're going to do this. And I, talked to the buds about that as well. So then we have teams like your team, Winnipeg, they popping up in the middle of Winnipeg, and they're growing, and they're just the sweetest people up there. And then we go across to Stefan and Claudia. So we went to do an event in Quebec, and I think the people are like, Katie was with me as well, and they're just like, this is such, they just feel so like this is family.
Mm.
So right. And the Canadians that I know are the most down to earth people. I mean,
Mhm.
this could be a Canadian company. Partnerco, their whole way Partnerco is and feels like a Canadian company. And then of course we got Popo. On the
Mm.
video, he comes along, and he brought a group there too, and he's had this incredible weight loss testimonial. Have you seen him?
Mm. I think just saw a picture. Yeah.
Yeah. And then all the way to Newfoundland. So Katie didn't go, but I went. She went to Winnipeg, and I went to Newfoundland, and what an amazing experience that was. So it's all of Canada. It's every province, and yeah, look at Popo. He and I mean, we're just like, wow, are you eating, Popo? That's what
Nice.
that's what the drops will do. So and the other interesting part about it all, and this is where, I'm having these long in-depth conversations with forecasting, is we've actually staggered the growth. We've actually, like when we had a Black Friday, we couldn't have packages with the drops. Like the United States, all their growth, ours wasn't. We did have free enrollment, but none of it was because of any of those specials or anything. So there's some of the promotions we can do, and some of them count. So most of the growth right now is from new teams and new leadership. And that's, of course, really good for everybody, because the new volume bonus is great. But you know the rule, a third come in, a third stay, and a third leave.
Mm.
Constantly need to be onboarding new people. And those new people also bring enthusiasm, and new people also hopefully start looking to the new sponsor for
Mm.
guidance. And so that person then says, well, I better learn the business. I just enrolled 2 people. I better know what
Mm.
I'm doing. And they start learning a little bit more.
Mm.
And this is how you get groundswell.
Wow. Wow. So I just want everyone to think about where things are going to be a year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now. You're seeing an uptick, right? And it's like we always say, who here would have loved to be a part of Google when Google was small, right? If you could catch it at the right time, I think you can always find good timing, you can always make your time right. But still, there's times when a company or a market, they're going through big growth and you can take advantage of that legitimately. That sounds like that's what's going on right now, Lucy, which is super exciting. There's systems in place, there are amazing leadership in place, and there's a lot of success stories, but not many people know about this yet. It's like Canada's greatest secret, but that's what this event is all going to be about. So, what do you think we should expect at this Calgary Connect event? It's at the beautiful BMO.
Yeah.
You've got an amazing roster. Tell us about this.
So, we want to make sure that when you come to an event like this, that you leave fulfilled, that your batteries are charged. And it is a really good question. So what's in it for me? First of all, we have a level up promotion that's running till the end of the month. So you can actually get a free ticket to the Calgary Connect and PXP, 2 free tickets. So that's almost 200 and whatever dollars it is that you're saving from earning the tickets. And if you've already bought a ticket, then what we'll do is you can transfer it in Canada. You can transfer your Calgary Connect. You cannot transfer your PXP, but you can transfer your Calgary Connect one, because I know that a lot of people had already purchased their tickets as well. So there is going to be an opportunity presentation on the Thursday night, which is for new people. So if you don't have a new person, then try not to take up a seat. It's for you, if you've got someone in Canada, to take a new person and get them engaged, and then perhaps they will come and join for the weekend. So that's the point there. Friday morning, there'll be some team meetings. So different teams are doing different things. And then we will start at 1:30 at the BMO. And that afternoon's dedicated to power, to hearing the powerful message from the executives. These will be 40-minute panels and power rankers and, the power of the science behind the products. And we will have a brand new doctor speaking there, which we're very excited as well. So there's going to be, and Barbara Cox-Lovesey, of course, and it will be hosted by Canadians. So most of the, afternoon and everything, that part will be as well. And then in the evening time, anybody who is part of the Catalyst Club in Canada or an officer or higher will be invited to a special dinner and party with John Wadsworth and Katie, and we'll give you the instructions on where to find that in the afternoon. So that'll be a kind of fun mystery, find where the party is, but we will let you know. And everyone else just has a free evening. And then Saturday, the morning will be sort of belief. So you'll hear John Wadsworth talking about the company. You'll hear Mark Pattison launching the new products and Barbara Cox-Lovesey talking about the science behind the product. I get into events. I'm sorry. I'm giving you a blow-by-blow thing. I love events.
You're great at them. If you haven't been to a Lucy event, you got to go. They are well run.
And then in the afternoon, it's action. So everything. And of course, we will have recognition. So recognition, we are bringing Mackie, which means we're going to have great recognition. All your pins and medals. And, I've seen these texts going back and forth today. And Canadians have been waiting a long time, some of them, to get their recognition and to get on stage. It's a big deal. So again, so that's going to be a big part of what we do. And then the action, and then, launching special packages. And then in the evening of Saturday, we have a red and white party. Some people have ordered customized red jackets with, I don't know, better together and all sorts of stuff on it. So it'll be interesting to see what everybody wears, but you can wear whatever you like, red and white. And we'll have a really good time in the evening. And see, Risha just got her custom red jewelry.
Wow.
It'll be fun. So, we need to do that. So I think that what I really need the Canadians to do is, this is our showpiece. So, I will be reaching out on the ones that we'll be talking to and participating. And it'll be obviously a blend, because we certainly appreciate all the incredible power rankers that have come from the States to support their teams. Without that support, we wouldn't have the growth that we have right now. So doesn't really matter what part of the world you're from. If you have a team and you support your team, you have an, I don't know what percentage would you put on that? Maybe an 80% better chance of growth,
Mm,
by you following up and helping it nurture a team. I think like seedlings in the back. I
yeah,
mean, some will never grow, but most will if you give them a little TLC.
right, right. So beautiful. If you're brand new, Lucy, you've kind of just barely heard of Partner Co. You've seen the drops maybe, and maybe you're in Canada, but you're not local to Calgary, but you're in Canada. Why would you say someone like that should come to something like this? What will they leave with?
They would leave with feeling part of the Partnico family. So
Mm,
if you're in Winnipeg or you're in St. John's or, New Brunswick or any of those provinces, you're by yourself and you have your own little group and you're getting on Zooms and you have your idea of what Partnico is. You make the investment in yourself and it's fun. And you come to Calgary, and I mean, you can pretty much stay anywhere because the C train that goes to the BMO goes from all over Calgary and you can Uber.
mm,
You don't have to stay at our host hotel. You can stay with friends, cousins, I don't know, recruit someone and go stay with them. But when you're there and you actually see James Ang live or Brent Palmer or Todd and Ashley Rowland, and they shake your hand and they include you, you guys just do a very good job of including all the people you come in contact with. And you see Chris and Joni who are representing Canada now on the global power ranking, way up there. I think they were number 3 or number 4 on the global power ranking to do that. And then you're gonna hear from the owner and you're gonna meet Katie. You're gonna go, I get it. I feel it. I
mm,
see it. I know it. And then when you go home, you're going to be able to share that. But
mm,
my advice would be don't go by yourself.
mm.
I, I don't know about you guys on the call, but I really don't like doing much by myself. You know, and so I would rather take a team so that I can have lunch with them. I can say, did you hear that conversation? What do you think about that? It's like going to a movie by yourself or going with a friend and then you can discuss it after, or reading a book by yourself and then reading it with a bunch of people that you can discuss it. Events are really built for you to be in your own little pod so that, 3 or 4 people from your team that you can be with. And then you don't have to go home and share everything. They all
Mm,
felt it as well. So now you've really duplicated your efforts and it saves you time. Take as many as you can, 100%, Deborah. And if you're in Alberta, there is no excuse.
no excuse.
I mean,
Yeah.
I know it's like a 5 or 6 hour drive, but that's nothing. You guys are used to it.
My gosh. Who here's ready to take the challenge that Lucy said, don't come by yourself. You got to come, but definitely don't come by yourself. That's
Yeah.
going to be a big one. And if you need to grab your ticket, by the way, you could either grab it from this site, just drop it in the chat, or if you're already a partner, go ultimate or help 3 of your teammates go ultimate by the end of this month. You get this and you get the Dallas party together, and it's going to be amazing. So people are going to leave transformed, empowered, a part of the family. And my last question is this, Lucy. What's in your vision for Canada 1 year from now? What does that look like? A lot's happened last year. What do you think will happen the next year?
Well, I've seen it happen before and I felt it happen before as well. So I think we'll probably double our sales for one thing. And so I'll have to bring on, more field development to help with that and probably somebody who speaks French. We are waking up we have a large Chinese team there and they've been basically working in China, but with the tariffs, they're coming back to work in Canada. So that will also prepare the growth. I also see probably getting 6 or 7 more products on the ground and going back to having a really good Canadian shop, making sure we're compliant and doing more road shows and still probably having one connect event. Maybe it'll be Ontario because in my experience, it's interesting that Alberta and BC, they're almost neck and neck right now. Alberta was the number 1 province. I don't know, one of those is getting a Christmas party. I'm not sure which one. We'll see. But Ontario normally in the world of direct sales is your number 1 province and it's tiny. So look at the opportunity that's going to happen there.
Mm,
So I see us stabilizing, spreading out across Canada, growing a little bit bigger, putting more resources in as well, and just having a lot of fun.
That sounds like a lot of fun. Who here wants to double your paycheck next year? You want to have a lot of fun. You want to be a part of a family. And just like what Lindsay said, she's going to drive 8 hours. You need to be there because you need to get into the fire. It's exactly what it is. So, Lucy, we're just so thankful for you. You work tirelessly, and I'm inspired by you all the time. And I'm like, there's a reason why you are who you are. And we're grateful to have you as a partner. And it's amazing. Any last words for this group?
I think that you should be really proud for those of you that have been with us and have patiently waited for, on the ground drops and patiently followed all the rules and the guidelines. Thank you. And this Calgary Connect is to celebrate you. And for the new people, it's for you to get a feeling and meet the owner of the company and meet the leaders. So the other thing, if you ever know anything about me, we're going to do this with or without you. It's tough. We are not going to wait. We are going to go forward. And I hope that you really see what's different with PartnerCo compared to what many other companies have there. And we're here for the long haul. And that's good for you and your business because nobody really likes that much change. But just wait till you see new products that this company has lined up. And there's a lot that are going to come in 2026 as well. So we're 2 years old. We're just getting started. So have a big vision. If you don't have one, James, maybe you can walk people through how to create a vision and how important that is, that you have that always in front of you. And if you need something, reach out. Thank you.
Lucy, thank you so much. Everybody throw Lucy lots of love in the chat. I'll end with a couple words here as well, too. Lucy, get some sleep, sister. You need some.
I need some. I must be looking tired.
No, I wasn't saying that. I'm telling you, you need, you deserve it. Thank you.
I do deserve it. I think I'm going to agree with you on that as well.
Absolutely. So guys, here's some homework for today. Okay. If you're brand new with us, this is your first time, you're not on board yet as a partner, reach out to the person connected you here and be like, I don't know exactly what this is. They'll fill you in, right? Start with us, be a part of this. One of the biggest things that I've realized in life is you want to win big, just find people that are vibrating at the highest of levels, doing big things, surround yourself around them, and you just get around them. They will lead you to amazing places. And this company, this leadership, this group, this team is absolutely doing that. All right. So just tell them what I needed to get started. Be the leader to do that. Okay. If you do not have your Connect ticket, grab it yesterday. Grab it now. Seriously, like it's this is good. You're gonna look at that drone photo, and I don't want you to be like, oh, I wish I was in that. Like, I want you to be like, there I was. So get yourself there. We're flying from San Diego, California with our 7-month-old to this event. So there's no excuses. We need to absolutely see you there. And last but not least, who here felt like there was somebody that wasn't on this call that needed to hear this as well too, right? Give me a wave or put a me in the comments below. Share this replay with others as well. It's not often that you get Lucy West on a call like this. So the replay will be up. There's a YouTube channel that I just dropped into the chat. And it's already there right after this. Share this with them. Share this message. Just pack it. Let's promote it. Let's show PartnerCo. Let's show Lucy. Let's show the executives. Let's show the entire the PartnerCo team why Canada, it's worth it for them to invest this much into us. I think that's the best thank you that we can do. Just pack it out, have an amazing time, and all those smiles. So everyone, thank you so much. Lucy, thank you once again. We so appreciate it.
Happy Easter, everybody. Thank you.
Happy Easter. Have a great one. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.